Okay, hopefully back in Algebra 1, your Algebra 1 teacher made you do like 300 of these quadratic formulas. The formula for quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Now, make sure that your quadratic equation is easiest to do it in standard form, and you have 0 on one side. Okay, now remember, I'm hoping that your Algebra 1 teacher told you, at least partially, guys, quiet down, at least partially what the fundamental theorem of algebra is. If I have a degree of 2, that means I can have 2 real solutions, 1 solution,
way up in the sky,
or zeros, or roots. There's a whole bunch of names that they come up with, x-intercepts. I either call them solution, zeros, or roots. I use all 3. This one has 1 real
with a
solution.
tail as big as a kite.
And this one, this is not the example I wanted. Draw a parabola like that where it doesn't cross the x-axis. And this would have no real. However, as we get into complex numbers, you will realize that this does indeed have solutions. Okay, so let's do a couple of examples. Remember, the coefficients of my variables are my a, b, and c. There is a variable with our constant. It just happens to be, in this case, x to the 0 power. So we don't normally put that in there. So my a is 2. My b is the coefficient of x, which is 1. And my c is negative 5. If I plug that into the quadratic formula, x is going to equal negative b, which is negative 1, plus or minus the square root. Now, anything under the square root is called a determinant. Yes? Pardon me? Now, the next section we're going to learn imaginary numbers. So we'll be able to solve every single quadratic. We'll learn that Monday. Actually, maybe Tuesday. Tuesday we got the quiz. Maybe Wednesday. So I have negative b. Make sure you put your b squared in parentheses in your calculators, because I will say at least 50% of you will keep making this mistake. My b is 1 squared minus 4 times a, which is 2 times c, negative 5, all divided by 2 times my a, which is 2. Now, you guys should be able to solve this discriminant pretty easy these days. Okay, and again, the discriminant is what's underneath the radical. So I have 1, let's see, minus 8, negative 40. So I'm going to replace this with 41. So my x is going to equal negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 41 all over 4. Now, can I simplify my square root, or can I go any further?
On a cold winter's
No.
night,
That's my answer.
so deep, Noel, Noel, Noel.
What?
Born is the
Okay, number 13.
of Israel.
My A is 4, my B is 1, my C is negative 3. X equals negative B, negative 1, plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A, which is 4, times C, which is negative 3, all divided by 2 times A, which is 4. Okay, my discriminant is going to be 1 squared is 1, minus 4 times 4 is 16, times negative 3 is negative 48, which equals 49. So I'm going to replace that. X equals negative 1 plus or minus. Now, I'm going to put it underneath the radical, so what's the square root of 49? That's right, 7 all over 8. Now remember, I'm getting 2 answers here. This plus or minus, guys, quiet. This plus or minus gives me 2 answers. Since I have a real number here, I need to give those 2 answers. So I have negative 1 plus 7 divided by 8, which is 6/8, which can be reduced to 3/4. There's one of my answers. My other answer, negative 1 minus 7 divided by 8 equals negative 8 over 8, which equals negative 1. So X, Tuesday, X equals negative 1 comma 3.
Joy, for Christ is born, the babe, the Son.
Okay, number 16. Yep. Number 16, my A, B is, C is, yep. So X equals negative B plus or minus the square root of my discriminant, which is B squared minus 4 times A, which is 3, times C, which is negative 12, all over 2 times A, which is 3. My discriminant, 12 squared is 144, minus 12 times negative 12 is negative 144. So I have 144 plus 144, which is 288.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I gotta go away.
Baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has been
Hoping that you dropped
so
in.
very nice.
I'll hold your hands, they're just like
My
ice.
mother will start to worry.
Beautiful what's your
My father
hurry?
will be pacing the floor.
Listen to that fireplace
So
roar.
really I'd better scurry.
Beautiful, please don't
Well,
hurry.
maybe just to have a drink more.
I'll put some records on while I
The
pour.
neighbors might think,
Baby, it's bad out there.
saying what's in this drink.
No cabs to be had out there.
I wish I knew how
Your eyes are like starlight
to
now.
break this spell.
I'll take your hat.
Oh,
Your
thank you.
hair looks swell.
Okay, so I get x equals negative 12 plus or minus. Now,
It's cold outside.
288 I can split up to a perfect square of 144 times the square root of 2 all over 6. Now I have to simplify.
Welcome has been
How lucky that you
so
dropped in.
nice and warm.
So I get negative 12
At that
My sister
star.
will be
Gosh, your
suspicious.
lips look
plus or minus. Square root of 144 is 12. Square root of 2 all over 6. And now I can cancel out a factor of 6 in all three of the numbers.
Baby, you'll freeze out there.
And I get,
It's up to your knees out there.
let's see, 12 divided by 6 is 6. 12 divided by 6 is 6. Square root of 2. So there's my answer. X equals 6 plus or minus 6.
If you got pneumonia and
I
die,
really can't
get over
stay.
that old rock. Baby, it's cold. Baby, it's cold.
Okay, the discriminant.
Another drink then.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the discriminant, and then you're on your own. The discriminant, you can determine the number and types of solution a quadratic equation will be had based on the discriminant. Okay, the discriminant equals anything under your radical.
With the kids drink.
Okay, if your discriminant equals 0, then you have one real solution. If D is positive, if your discriminant is positive, then you have 2 real solutions. If it's negative, you don't have any real solutions.
It's the happiest.
So let's look at a couple of examples. We're going to calculate the discriminant on something.
Mellows for toasting and caroling.
See, my A is 1, my B is negative 6, and my C is 9. So my discriminant is B squared minus 4AC. I should put that up there, by the way. B squared minus 4.
Glowing when loved ones are near.
So my B squared is negative 6 squared minus 4 times my A is 1 times my C is 9. So I get 36 minus 36. This equals 0, so I have 1. Number 2, my A is 2, my B is negative 6, and my C is 9.
There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting.
So B squared minus 4 times A, which is 2, times C is 9. So I have 36 minus 72. This is negative. So no real solution.
It's the most wonderful time of year.
And then the final one. See, my A is 1, my B is negative 6, and my C is negative 9. Negative 6 squared minus 4 times A times C. It's going to be 36 plus 36 equals positive. Go ahead, Gavin. Questions, comments, concerns? Good. Do your homework.